Hello guys, welcome back to Custom Gamer. My name is Daz and this is the show where we talk about level design while playing cool maps. Today we're having a look at a new Quake 1 single player map released by MFX and it's called Clean Cut. This was released on the 23rd of March 2013 and it features a lot of glass in the map, which is kind of a novelty for Quake maps because it doesn't natively support transparent textures. You have to use new engine features for this. Now the way it's been done in this map is that it uses a kind of plain white water texture, and you need to enter some commands into the console to get it looking correct. I've printed the commands on the screen here. You want R water alpha 0.3 and R water warp 0. This is so the glass looks correct in the map, otherwise you'll get strange visual anomalies, which no one wants. Another interesting side note is that you probably noticed that this is MFX SP8. And yet it is his first release map, so he's got 7 others which he either didn't like enough to release or perhaps just weren't good enough quality, who knows. Perhaps he can spruce them up to the quality of this, because this is actually a really fun map to play. So let's go in and have a look, shall we? Alright, so one thing just off the bat that I really enjoyed about this map was that it's pretty hard. I mean, I play on hard skill for most of the demos I do for this channel, and this map gave me a few problems. It took me about 3 or 4 tries to get through without dying on my first attempt. And that was with finding a lot of secrets as well. There's a really handy secret you can find fairly early on which gives you a lightning gun in this map, which is fairly good. Actually trivializes a lot of the early encounters. On this playthrough that I recorded for you guys, I didn't find it. I completely forgot where it was, so the map became a lot tougher. It's kind of interesting how placing kind of weapons and secrets can really alter the gameplay balance of the map, especially if you're giving the player kind of early access to a high-powered weapon, as is the case in this map. It's kind of compounded by the fact that you're fighting enforcers straight off the bat, so you're getting a lot of cell ammo very early. So you kind of end up turning into this raging death machine with a 100 cell ammo just as you get to the secret. It's quite hilarious. But yeah, I completely forgot where it was on this recording, so unfortunately I get to play the hard version of the map. Another issue I had with it is that while the lighting is actually really good, I think the use of min light is perhaps a little bit overdone. Min light, if you're not familiar with the term, is in Quake you can set a minimum light value for globally for the entire map, so instead of shadows being drawn completely pitch black, they'll have just a kind of slight ambience to them, kind of ambient light. I think in this map it's perhaps set a little bit too high. A lot of areas look quite washed out as a result, rather than having really dark shadows. Not really too fond of it. I feel like the map, if it had been a lot darker, the visuals could have been a lot more, would have been a lot more contrast essentially. It would have looked a lot better. Now here's a nice encounter that I really liked. So you're kind of in this confined space, and the way you do the shambler dance in Quake is you kind of run up to the shambler, force him to start his melee animation, and then kind of back off. Every time you do that you're kind of losing a little bit of ground, and in a confined area like that it can get very, very tense as you're trying to give as little ground as possible while still doing the shambler dance successfully, and I think in that enclosed area there it works out really, really well. It just ends up being really, really tense. You just about have enough room to successfully not take any damage. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. This monster placement, not so much. Especially the Vor, it's just kind of sat there and you can, it looks like it's almost stuck in the wall here because it doesn't move at all. I feel like that could be a bug, as in on hard skill you're teleporting in different enemies with different hitboxes into the same teleport locations, so that could be a bug there. Hooray, I found some secrets in this map. I can't remember how many there are in total, but I think I find 3, maybe 3 or 4 in this playthrough. They're really, really nicely placed actually. Some of them kind of hidden in plain sight like that one. Others are more complex. feel like the silver key door, I feel like the key doors just aren't really pointed out enough to the player. There's kind of a little silver key logo actually on the door, but I always kind of prefer it if there's kind of icons on the walls as well, and perhaps little arrows around the map showing the way to the different key doors. But saying that though, the layout in this map is actually quite nice. You don't really get lost that often. I think here's another issue here of kind of monsters teleporting into walls. Probably due to the difficulty differences, different monsters being teleported in, like I mentioned already, but can't really be sure. It's always kind of fun when you shoot a button, you're not quite sure what it did. I mean, it kind of sucks if that happens for kind of critical progression, but if it's for secret areas that kind of make you explore around the map, I think that can be okay. This area I kind of like, because as you engage the grunts, you can hear the spawn kind of make his aggro sound. And you can kind of put 2 and 2 together and guess where they are, and take him out before he starts flying all over the place. One thing I wasn't too fond of here, as you can see here, is that there's 2 silver keys right next to each other. It just feels really strange. Maybe it's due to the fact that you very rarely see this kind of setup with 2 keys right next to each other, but it just doesn't quite feel right. I mean, you use a silver key there to open this door, then you go back and get another one. It's kind of strange. I think it kind of defeats the object of keys in the first place. They're kind of meant to be used to give the player a goal, like find a key to get through this door, and 2 of them in exactly the same place just kind of really doesn't fulfill that role. I think it's just kind of an overabundance then. I think they kind of lose some of their meaning if there's too many like that. Gonna grab a biosuit and go down here. A simple little secret there. I missed that the first time around, found it this time. See, I missed the lightning gun secret and instead found a box of nails. Oh, a joy. I love the fact that you just have enough time to kill the shambler before the biosuit runs out. Don't know if that was made intentionally or not, but it's a hell of a good coincidence otherwise. Very tense. Now another thing which you probably notice while going through this map is that there's lots of lovely detailing everywhere, lots of like machines, pipe work, all kinds of different rungs and kind of connectors on the walls and everything like this. Really nice. It reminds me of Negi maps actually. There's just a really high level of detail, kind of visual fidelity in the maps. Really nice to look at. And again, you got kind of the glass hiding various kind of panels and lights in the walls. So yeah, I think build quality is good. I mean, I don't really enjoy the lighting too much, as I've already mentioned, but the actual architecture is really nice. And the layout as well, so you notice you can't come back full circle to the beginning of the map to find the gold key door here. It just feels extremely natural going around the map, doesn't feel forced. There's no like teleporters. Teleporters can be kind of used as a crutch, as oh dear, my layout doesn't connect up, I'll just slap a teleporter in here and it'll be fine. So you can see here, this is like the main glassy area. Unfortunately in this map there's no actual collision on the glass, so you can actually fire straight through it. Even things like grenades, they just fire straight through the glass. There's a trick which Than mentioned in the release thread on Funk message boards for this, where you can actually use a Funk wall textured in skip to create collision for glass without it being rendered. There you go, pro tip there from Than. I believe he said he was going to update the Quake wiki with little tips like that, so I'm going to hold you to that. So yeah, this final area you have to fight 4 shamblers. I'm guessing this is on hard skill, perhaps it's easier on other skill levels, but I actually completely missed the lightning gun on the way up, so I had a nail gun. It's only because I fell back down the lift like a derp that I actually picked up the lightning gun, which is quite hilarious. Yeah, I imagine that area is probably very, very hard if you miss that lightning gun. I don't know how I managed it, but hey, I guess I'm getting this reputation as being very unobservant when picking up items in maps. Which brings us nicely to the end. So yeah, MFX's first release map, excellent quality. Again, I think the lighting could have used a bit more work, it's just too washed out I think, but excellent technical skills and fun gameplay. Really enjoyed the layout as well. No use of teleporters or anything like that to connect everything up. And it was pretty difficult, which I enjoy. Hard skill should be hard. Right guys, I'm going to bring you some more Quake maps very soon. There's been so many releases lately, so I'm going to try and catch up there. And I'll see you next time.